The movie starts with a calm night. A woman is standing casually in her apartment, looking at the starry sky through the window. She looks peaceful, enjoying her alone time. But that peace suddenly disappears when a man suddenly pushes her off the top of the building. It all happens so fast and without explanation. A few weeks go by, and we're introduced to the main character named Carly. She's a rookie book editor and also a widow. Since her financial situation isn't doing well, Carly decides to move into a simple apartment called Sliver, even though she actually knows the place has a bad reputation. When she arrives at the apartment, Carly is greeted by the building owner. The next day, Carly starts her routine as an editor like usual. Leaves early for work, comes home in the evening, and in the elevator, she runs into a guy who also lives in the apartment. He looks friendly, and handsome too. Deep down, Carly thinks, what if this guy is my soulmate? That evening, while shopping, suddenly an old man approaches her and tries to strike up a conversation. Carly, surprised and a bit uncomfortable, tries to find a way to dodge him, especially since the old man looks like a retired blackbird. But outside the store, the old man still insists on talking to her. Turns out, he claims to be a professor at a university. The old man says the reason he approached her wasn't to flirt, but because Carly looks a lot like a woman named Naomi Singer, a former resident of Sliver who supposedly killed herself. Carly, who was suspicious at first, ends up a bit shocked and starts to believe what the old man is saying. Once she gets back to her room, Carly starts taking off her clothes, getting ready for some me time, aka chill and relax. But without Carly knowing, there's a hidden camera in the room. While she's having fun by herself, someone's watching through the CCTV. The next day, Carly has lunch with two important people in her life at that moment. Alex, her boss, and Jack, the author whose book she's going to edit. Jack is a single writer who's starting to fall for Carly, the charming and irresistible widow. After lunch, Carly shows her soft side. She helps a woman in the apartment carry some stuff, even though they don't know each other. The woman introduces herself as Vita. Turns out, Vita's been living at Sliver for a while, just got back from Milan, and is now staying in Naomi Singer's old room. Right then, Vita says that Carly really does look a lot like Naomi, and from there, it becomes even clearer that something weird is going on in the Sliver apartment. At the end of this part, we're shown a secret room filled with monitors. Hundreds of CCTV screens show different angles of the apartment. Someone is watching every move of the residents, including Carly. The next morning, while jogging around the apartment, Carly accidentally runs into Jack. They jog together for a bit, and during their small talk, Jack suddenly says that Carly seems to be hiding a secret. Carly gets confused right away because she feels like she's not hiding anything weird. Because of what Jack said, Carly starts to get suspicious. She starts thinking maybe Jack is the one who put the telescope in her room. Jack is shocked when he hears the accusation because he has no idea what Carly's talking about. But Carly, already suspicious, doesn't want to hear any explanation. She immediately decides to walk away and leaves Jack just like that. When Carly gets back to the apartment, she's shocked because the front yard is already filled with cops. Turns out the old professor who talked to Carly the other day was found dead in the bathroom. His neck was broken. Since Carly was seen talking to the professor, the police start interrogating her right away. Carly answers honestly. She just talked to the professor briefly about Naomi Singer, and the professor did mention that Carly looked a lot like Naomi. That's it. No weird connection or anything else. After the interrogation, Carly heads back to her room. Her curiosity keeps growing, so she uses the telescope in her room again to look around the apartment. By accident, she sees Jack talking pretty closely with Vita. Carly's gut feeling gets worse. Because she's curious, Carly starts looking up news about Naomi on the internet. When she sees the pictures, she becomes more convinced that she really does look a lot like Naomi. But what really shocks Carly is finding out Naomi was only 33 years old when she died. And it wasn't just a regular death. Naomi took her own life. That night, Carly hosts a small party in her apartment. It's not a big party, just a chill hangout with a few neighbors and co-workers. Suddenly, Jack shows up, even though he wasn't invited. But since it'd be awkward to turn him away, Carly ends up letting him in. Not long after, another neighbor of Carly's shows up, Zeke. Unlike Jack, Zeke was actually invited, and Carly already has a bit of a crush on him. During the party, Carly asks Zeke about Naomi. But Zeke only says he knows the name, never got close to her or anything personal like that. The conversation isn't over yet, when suddenly there's a commotion. Another neighbor is caught spying on something with a telescope. Carly, the charming widow, doesn't want to miss out either, so she joins in. And it turns out, almost everyone in the apartment has a telescope for spying. The weirdness of this apartment just keeps getting more obvious. A while later, the party ends. Everyone's gone home, except Jack. Before he leaves, Jack asks Carly if she wants to go jogging together the next day. But apparently, Jack doesn't leave right away. He seems pretty comfortable staying there, and from his behavior, it's clear he doesn't want to lose Carly. In the end, Jack also asks Carly out for dinner the next evening. After Jack actually left, Carly went downstairs to do her laundry, specifically her underwear. But while she was walking down the hallway, she suddenly heard a weird sound. Carly panicked right away. Luckily, Zeke, who was still around, showed up and calmed her down. He said it was just some trash passing through the hallway chute. The next day, Carly went to the gym as planned. There, she immediately met up with Zeke, who was ready to coach her through the workout. At first, it was just a normal session, but after a while, Zeke's touches started to feel different. He wasn't just guiding her movements, his hands started to wander in ways that made Carly's heart race. Strangely, instead of getting mad, Carly actually started enjoying it and quietly let it happen. After the gym session, they headed back to the apartment. But instead of going to their own rooms, Carly followed Zeke into his unit. Inside, Zeke didn't waste time. He went straight to something more than just small talk. Carly hesitated. At first, she said no, but with that calm face and smooth words, Zeke managed to break through her walls. In the end, they did what they had both been holding back for a while. Once everything calmed down, Zeke opened up more. He told Carly that he was actually the real owner of the Sliver apartment. All this time, the person who looked like the owner was just a manager or staff. Zeke's father was the one who originally built the building from scratch. After his father passed away, the Sliver was passed down to Zeke. He chose to stay behind the scenes because he didn't want everyone to know. Carly was a little surprised to hear that. But she tried to act normal and not show too much amazement. After that, Zeke said goodnight and headed back to his own room. Once he reached his room, we're shown a space filled with CCTV monitors. Turns out, Carly was being recorded while she was smiling to herself, probably thinking about what just happened with Zeke. And the one sitting there, watching all the screens, it wasn't a stranger, it was Zeke himself. The next morning, Carly went to work like usual. At the office, one of her coworkers suddenly mentioned that she had gone out with Jack the day before, but she was confused because the whole time, Jack didn't do anything, didn't flirt, didn't touch her, and just kept talking about Carly. After work, Carly returned to the apartment. But as soon as she opened her door, she was shocked. Jack was already inside her room, and as far as Carly could remember, she always locked her door. She never once forgot. But now Jack was there. Jack quickly explained that the door wasn't locked and that he wasn't a bad guy. Then he started talking about something way more serious, about Naomi. Jack confessed that he had been digging into Naomi's case and came to a shocking conclusion. The one who killed Naomi was Zeke. Jack realized that because Zeke was the building owner, he could control all the CCTV footage. That's why the police couldn't find evidence, and the case went cold. Carly was totally shocked when she heard that confession. She never expected that the guy who just made her feel comfortable was hiding such a dark and terrifying side. Without thinking twice, Carly kicked Jack out of her room. After Jack left Carly's apartment, a mysterious package suddenly arrived. No sender name, just Carly's address written on it. While she was still confused, trying to figure out who sent it, Carly suddenly got a call from Zeke. On the phone, Zeke said he was super bored yesterday. Carly chuckled and said she felt the same. Then, Zeke admitted that he was the one who sent the package to her. He also took the chance to ask Carly out for dinner. Carly, who was already smiling to herself since the phone call, got dressed up and headed out with Zeke to a restaurant. When they arrived, they sat down and chatted for a long time, smiling and laughing while talking about random stuff. But the casual talk slowly turned a bit more personal. Zeke asked, "Are you really wearing those black panties?" Without thinking much, Carly casually showed Zeke. But Zeke wasn't done. He asked to see more. Carly, already way too comfortable, gave in. Their overly bold behavior made the people at the next table lose their appetite completely. Not long after, a restaurant staff came over and scolded them, so they decided to head back. But since they were both already at their limits, they ended up fooling around a bit in the elevator. When the elevator doors opened on their floor, Zeke went into his room, but it didn't take long before Carly followed him in too. Inside, they dove right into the passion they'd been holding back. Later that night, after everything cooled down, Carly's curiosity about Naomi came back. She called Vita, even though she knew her friend was already asleep. After the call ended, Carly immediately contacted Jack and told him that Vita had mentioned Zeke once had a relationship with Naomi. Jack denied it right away. He even said maybe Carly was starting to fall for Zeke's manipulation, but Carly still wasn't so sure. The next morning, Carly wanted to confirm it directly with Vita, but Vita showed up late to the office and rushed off before Carly could talk to her. That evening, the elevator in the apartment building broke down. Vita ended up taking the stairs alone and became the next victim. Suddenly, someone stabbed her multiple times. Her screams echoed through the building, and Carly, who heard it, ran straight to the scene. Carly was completely shocked when she saw Jack next to Vita's lifeless, blood-covered body. She stared at Jack in disbelief. Jack tried to explain, but Carly couldn't trust him anymore. After that incident, Jack was considered the main suspect in Vita's murder. The police even found evidence that Jack had been targeting Vita for a while. Meanwhile, Carly was sitting across from Zeke, telling him everything directly. For some reason, Zeke suddenly asked Carly to come with him to his secret CCTV room. Carly got even more confused. Inside that room, she realized that Zeke was hiding a lot of things she didn't know. She started to feel uncomfortable and wanted to leave right away. But before she could go, Zeke said that Carly was the only woman who knew all his secrets, and the reason he was telling her everything was because he truly loved her. At first, Carly was upset and ready to walk out, but she started to soften a little after hearing Zeke's honest confession. So Carly didn't end up leaving the CCTV room. In fact, she got more interested and started enjoying the thousands of recordings playing in front of her. Every event in the apartment was clearly captured. Zeke finally opened up. He admitted that he was the one who had sent the telescope to Carly's room. Then, about the night Vita was murdered, Zeke said he didn't see what happened directly, but he did spot someone who looked just like him going up and down the stairs at the time. Because something felt off, Zeke called the police right away. As they replayed the footage from the night of the murder, the tense atmosphere shifted. Carly, still very much a widow, grew even closer to Zeke. That moment ended with them working out again, right there in that room. The next day, Carly suddenly got a call from someone with a strange voice. The person said there was a criminal targeting children, and Carly started to panic a bit. But it turned out to be Zeke messing around. He used a fake voice effect to prank call her. That's when Carly realized, back then when she got a call from Vita, it was actually Zeke pretending. Feeling bad for scaring her, Zeke tried to cheer her up. He showed off his hacking skills and managed to break into Carly's computer. Soon after, a sweet digital flower animation popped up on Carly's laptop screen. Carly couldn't help but smile at Zeke's antics. That night, when Carly walked into her room, she was shocked to find Jack already inside. Jack immediately tried to calm her down and swore he never killed anyone. He also claimed that he'd been framed by Zeke all along. Then, Jack asked Carly to call Zeke and tell him to come to her room. Still confused, Carly went along with it. Zeke hadn't had a chance to check the CCTV yet, but he believed it right away and rushed to Carly's room. But when he got there, Jack was already waiting and pointed a gun at him. Jack said he was sure Zeke was the one who killed Naomi Singer and also the one who took out Vita. The most suspicious thing, according to Jack, was how Zeke could get into Carly's room, even though the door was locked. That's when Jack became convinced that Zeke had access to every room in the apartment. Zeke stayed calm and denied all the accusations. But on the other hand, Carly, who had gotten pretty close to Zeke, actually trusted him more than Jack. The tension kept building until it turned into a fight. In the middle of the chaos, Carly accidentally pulled the trigger on Jack's gun. The bullet hit Jack and killed him instantly. After that, Carly and Zeke went to the police. But of course, they didn't tell the whole truth. They said Jack attacked first and threatened Carly, so they had no choice but to fight back in self-defense. The police accepted their story, especially since Jack had a bad record. He had been involved in a domestic violence case with his ex-wife. As for how Jack got into Carly's locked room, they said he had a duplicate key. When checked, it turned out to be true. The key could open the apartment rooms. With all that explained, the police declared that Zeke and Carly weren't guilty, but they still had to come back to the station the next day for further questioning. After that, Carly and Zeke were alone in a room full of CCTV screens and hundreds of monitors. Carly asked Zeke to delete the footage that showed the two of them together. Without asking much, Zeke grabbed the footage right away. Carly, who was known as a smart widow, wasn't just sitting still while pretending to stay calm. She secretly used the CCTV system to keep an eye on Zeke. Once she found out exactly where the footage was stored, she switched the channel. When Zeke came back, Carly immediately deleted the footage of the two of them herself. Zeke didn't say much. He just let her do it. But Carly wasn't done yet. She started looking for other footage Zeke had stored in that room. She watched them one by one, until finally, one video showed that Zeke had actually been close with Vita. Then she moved on to the next recording. This time, Naomi showed up. Turns out, Zeke had a thing with Naomi too. Now he acted like he wanted to come back because there was something unfinished. Instinctively, Carly shut the door to that room, but Zeke started talking through the CCTV, saying he was madly in love with Carly. His words made Carly's heart waver a little, because that's how it is with women. Sometimes feelings can fool logic. But Carly didn't open the door. Zeke ended up yanking the cables to force the door open. As soon as he got in, Carly pointed Zeke's own gun at him. Zeke tried to explain again that he really loved her, but Carly had already lost all trust. Then suddenly, the screen changed. It now showed the moment Naomi was found dead. It was clear that Jack was at the scene. Carly got even more confused. Was Jack the killer? Or was he just trying to frame Zeke? In the middle of all the confusion and heartbreak, Carly realized one thing. She couldn't trust Zeke anymore, especially since he was good at manipulating. And to avoid future regrets, Carly chose one path: destroy Zeke's entire CCTV system.